All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Tuesday morning, man. Good cup of coffee, good stuff going on. Let's get airborne. Appreciate everybody yesterday. Some good insight, man. The talked to a buddy last night. Because as we talked about, usually for the past couple of years, the anniversary of my father's transitioning have been like a celebration, right? Because I know kind of where he is and everything like that and all that type of stuff. But, doing the medicine work, folks, there is no, it's not a magic pill. If anything, it's a mind and a heart opener. So you open yourself up to receive a little bit more. So it helps us observe and sit with our discomfort. In the past, when I was in pain or hurting, wasn't the most the best ways to take care of that pain, right? In the past, whether it was drugs or alcohol. So maybe the medicine allows us to see a few blind spots and puts our blessings into perspective. So it was really interesting yesterday to see it like that. And a buddy called me and he's like, if anything, going through that type of process, because I'm still integrating from the medicine, right? It's you technically integrate for the rest of your life. Seeing it kind of reaffirms humanity, right? Because I remember on I'm not going to debrief all the stuff. We have stuff to do, but with my 5-MeO experience, you guys know it was an exorcism, a flip in the bed, which I couldn't do if you paid me. But the flip was coming back from, let's just use the term heaven, but whatever it was, being one with source, one with truth, one with divine, and then coming back into this imperfect, what I believe, obviously ego, imperfect vessel, sucked, right? So, we all are human. This thing, this shell, this skeleton serves its purpose for, hopefully, God willing, a long time, and then we're where we're supposed to be for eternity. So, kind of like my brother Slider said on his podcast, I'm thankful for my suffering, and I am, because it allows us to get better. Okay. So good stuff. We definitely, let's do a quick you are here. We're definitely not out of any of this, right? Because here's where we are today, right? We got a rip your face off rally. Really haven't even gotten into tech earnings yet. But this can be one of those. Let's just go look real quick because it's really interesting. And I posted this immediately at the open. I said, this could get out of the way of this one or join it, right? This can be a run all the way up to what? Look at how low, right? The averages are coming down to what? Us. That tells you something, right? Remember back in the day, a year ago, when we'd be talking about going what? Hey, we might go up and hit a moving average because the moving averages were way above us. Now, when I say we might go up to a moving average, it's because the moving averages have come down to us. It looks like my college performance. The bell curve is coming down to meet whiz. So, and look down here, right? Back here, we had a little bit of that, not a little bit, but we look at that thin MACD area right there. That's shit show in here. And then you got a formal cross right here. And now they're open. And when they're open, you get a run. Look at that. Look at this open in here. I don't know why I use this orange pen, but look at that correspond to. So with this open right here, you can get a powerful run. I think Bart or somebody over in the Max Afterburner was kind of saying, hey, we might get another big leg run up before another slam. So we've talked about this a couple times. There are bear market rallies. This was a massive bear market rally. These weren't, those were all short squeezes. No rally in any of those. And that was trading. But this is interesting. But this can all end this week. you get a shit show out of the tech earnings, and it will drag the market down. We've seen some of those tech earnings, where Apple will miss, or whoever will miss a big one, and everybody's like, oh my god, the whoever miss is dragging the whole market down. So that can definitely happen, but on days like today, either join it or get out of the way. And of course, that's very tactical trading, but kind of lead with a quick tactical insight before we get into our strategic brief. Joe Biden unleashes a new era. So now the precedent is set for future presidents. Use the SPR for political purposes. You guys know, and I'm preaching to the choir, if Donald Trump had been manipulating the SPR in front of an election, they would be going fucking apeshit. There would be January 6th commissions. There'd be impeachments. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, their faces would be melting off. He is manipulating an election. Biden, he cares about whatever. You guys know it's bullshit, but can you see the hypocrisy? We're now using the Strategic Petroleum Reserve as a weapon to manipulate an election. He picked up the phones and even flew over there and told the Saudis, please, please, please don't cut production. Wait until after the election. What? I can't wait until the Republicans at least take the House. I can't stand Republicans most of the time either, but I'm going to sit here as an independent observer with a big bag of popcorn laughing at all the investigations, right? Bannon might be going to jail for 4 months for contempt of Congress or whatever it was. Imagine the people who might be going to jail on the other side of the fence. I can't stand it. I don't want it to happen, but, like Mitch McConnell back in the day, Harry Reid, I remember this. I was coming back from a keynote somewhere, and I'm in the airport, bar or whatever, and Harry Reid was getting ready to change the Senate rules, right? You only need 51 votes for whatever the hell it was. And Mitch McConnell got up and he said, don't do it. I'm begging you not to do it because you're not going to be in power forever. And if you do this, it's going to hit you right in the face. And it didn't matter because that's how people think. They're very tactical, very short-sighted. And they're like, nope, they did it. And then boom, now you got a conservative Supreme Court because it blew up in their face. So again, when the other side does it, it's politics. Or when the other side does it, it's impeachable. When you do it, it's just politics, or he's caring about the people. This article in the Wall Street Journal, folks, today, Ukraine presses the West for billions in economic military aid after Russian attacks on infrastructure. Oh, now they're pressing us for billions in economic and military aid. Now, as opposed to the past 8 months of billions and billions and billions and billions. Again, guys, what is the end game? When you do strategic planning, you start with the desired end state. You don't start with today. Idiots start with today. And they try and bubble up to some strategic objective. That's wrong. In my business consulting, I start with call it 3 year, 5 year, I could be dead. A year is too tactical. A 3 year, what is your future picture? If you could hop in a time machine, fly out 3 years into the future, what puts a smile on your face? What makes you cross your arms and say, I made it. We made it. Everything's could not be better. You write that on your whiteboard, and then you go backwards in time and then start mapping out tactics and operational objectives, okay? Done this for decades. If you listen, and you have been because you've been here, we've listened together to what that future picture might be. Joe Biden. Oh, that guy can't stay in charge of Russia. It's regime change. Holy shit. Did you just say you want to get rid of Vladimir Putin? That's like an act of war. We don't, I thought the U.S. doesn't believe in regime change. Oh, no, he didn't say that. He just said it. I'm in the room and it's on TV. No, he didn't. It's not regime change. He was speaking from the heart. What? The Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, a lobbyist from the defense industry, says Our mission objective is to degrade the Russians' warfighting ability. Okay, holy shit, that's also kind of a declaration of war-ish. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Hey, I know those pipelines blew up yesterday, but this is an awesome opportunity for us. So if those are the strategic objectives, folks, this hasn't even started yet, and it's 7, 10, 11 minutes into the brief. It's time for me to say this is going to get worse. Did you see what happened yesterday? And if you didn't, get ready to laugh your ass off. What's the difference between being a traitor, a patriot, and conspiracy theory in America? Anywhere from 6 to 12 months. In this case, it's about 7 to 8 months. Why? What happened yesterday? Well, first of all, did you see AOC at her, her district? She had like an open house. She's getting destroyed by who? Those weren't like Republican activists heckling her and yelling at her. Did you see her constituents frothing at the mouth about you sellout? You criticized Trump, Republicans for getting us into forever wars, and you got us into one. Get us out. You're a sellout. We're getting pushed in front of subway trains and getting punched in the face by random criminals, and you're sending all this money to Ukraine. Did you see that? You had to look for it, right? Because that would not lead. CNN doesn't lead with AOC getting heckled. Did you see what happened yesterday? Let's do it. 30 House Democrats urge dramatic shift in his Ukraine policy. Oh, it's time to get serious about diplomacy or risk nuclear miscalculation. Up until yesterday, when Wiz would say this, or Elon would say this, or the Pope, or Henry Kissinger, we're fucking traitors. We're Putin plants. We're Russian agents. I'm a Russian agent. Yesterday, and this lady, what's her name? PayPal or whatever? PayPal yesterday. The longer the war in Ukraine goes on, the greatest risk of escalation, widespread, devastating effect. We need a realistic framework for a ceasefire. I'm sorry, what? 2 weeks ago when Elon Musk said this, you called him a traitor and a puppet of Ukraine. And now here comes the Democrats. We need peace. Why the dramatic shift? Oh, I don't know. How about the polls? I showed you a Wall Street Journal article yesterday of people who ordered cocaine from DoorDash or whatever it was are dead from fentanyl. How about they see us spending billions and billions of dollars to fight for another nation's borders when, did you see the numbers yesterday or 2 days ago? 2.4 million people from around the world have poured into this country. Just take a wild guess at how many terrorists or criminals. You can't even put a number on it, folks. Maybe their constituents in the polls before an election are like, what the fuck are we doing? So again, ladies and gentlemen, up until yesterday, if you brought any of this stuff up, you're done. House Democrats urge Biden to shift Ukraine war strategy. See diplomatic push. Are you guys laughing at this yet? It's America's responsibility to pursue every diplomatic avenue to support a resolution that's acceptable to the people of Ukraine. Wow. Notable that AOC is among the Democrats calling for negotiations in Ukraine after she ridiculed the protesters who were demanding that very same thing. Did you see it the other night? There's her town hall. Watch the clip if you want. I can't believe I'm going to say this on a live trade brief. Well, actually, they agree with me. Isn't that? I was going to say I agree with AOC. AOC agrees with me. But ladies and gentlemen, this was yesterday. Do you want to talk about today and be present? What happened today? House Democrats walk back letter urging Biden and Ukraine negotiations after the White House reaction. You can't make this up. So Jean-Claude Van Damme came out and kind of beat this back. So now the Democrats are the gang that can't shoot straight. Mr. Zelensky gets to determine, because it's his country, what success looks like and when to negotiate. Kirby he's just a scumbag. He's got a good soul. It's in there somewhere. The skeleton is a scumbag. Mr. Zelensky gets to determine, hey, John, Admiral Kirby, Public Affairs Officer Admiral Kirby, do we get to determine? Because the only reason Zelensky is where he's able to do all of these decisions is me and you. Do we get to determine? Actually, Admiral, we get to determine. And you know when we get to determine, John? In about a week and a half, bro. That's why that's why they're freaking. 2-3 months ago, this midterm elections will be about abortion, and you Republicans made it very dangerous, blah, blah. I'm like, do you know how much time is between now and November 4th? It's like the VIX or the stock market, folks. An hour is a lifetime in this cell phone, laptop, media, TV. You're being bombarded. Abortion, it's like number 102 on a list of 100 things on the priorities of Americans. So this is incredibly interesting, folks. What's this have to do with trading? Everything, because guess what happens when, not if, the Republicans take the House? Who controls the power of the purse in this country? It ain't the president. Read some old documents. And there's a reason for that. We, the people, not the dude or the lady. So this is getting interesting. I'll say it again. We'll move on. It's going to get worse. The end game. Now Republicans are going to come in. But listen to me. Most of the Republicans are idiots as well. Neocon, war hawks, and all that type of stuff, except for the random Republicans who actually have served in the military. Like, hey, man, let's get all the way up to the brink of nuclear war. We got Russians dropping missiles accidentally off their jets after intercepting the other day and all sorts of shit like this. So just get ready. Exactly. Investigations up the wazoo. I can't wait to see the Hunter Biden investigation. So you worked for an oil and gas firm in Ukraine. You have zero experience. Your dad went over and got a prosecutor fired who is investigating you. But we'll impeach Trump for the phone call that says, hey, dude, this is a shitload of money we're giving to your country. It looks a little dirty. Can you make sure it's clean? How dare the president uphold funding to a foreign fucking country? Some fat, pasty lieutenant colonel. Call me Colonel Vindeman. Anyway, but folks, this is, I said this weeks ago, there's no seriousness about this. And it is deadly serious. As I'm talking to a young Russian gets his head blown off, or a young Ukrainian. People are dying on this brief. And it's unserious, not serious. The Ukrainian German ambassador tells Elon Musk to go fuck off. Elon Musk. All right, well, Starlink ain't free anymore. Oh, my God. I'm just listening to what he told me to do. He told me to fuck off. I'm going to go fuck off. I love when you do that to people. They beat you down. And then when you're like, okay, well, and then, oh, hold on. Don't pull your support. Okay. Anyway, so we're in it, man. We are, waiting in a holding pattern for earnings, big week in earnings to kick off. I'm not going to beat the dead horse here. Each one is its own individual. Oh, Gary, that guy cracks me up. I see him on Twitter every once in a while. Of course, do you remember this? He thought they were asking him to be like the Ukrainian Secretary of Defense. He was like angling to to get the job, not the American, like to go to Ukraine and be their Secretary of Defense. And he's sitting there in his fat, pasty suit now, not his uniform. And every time I see him mouth off about Ukraine, I Google Ukrainian Foreign Legion. I forget the website. It's like Ukraine, fight for Ukraine. I drop that in there and I tweet back at him like, hey, call me Colonel. Here's the link to register for the Ukrainian Foreign Legion. They'll get you a plane ticket today, dude, to pick up a rifle and fight. Oh, that's right. You just like the virtue signal behind your laptop. I'm a tough lieutenant colonel. Dude cracks me up. But this is what I wanted to talk about. Buried down here. Where'd it go? Damn it. And it just disappeared. It was what the hell was the headline? It was something about the Fed. You know, the market sees the Fed slowing. You know, it was maybe it went away really quick because it was kind of dumb. Market, damn it. I hate when I refresh a page and something goes, but it was hey man, the market's the Fed might be pivoting earlier. So that might be, and I'm sorry I missed it. I should have had it up, but that's part of this is some sort of the Fed's going to cool it. Whatever. That makes no sense to me. Yesterday, so Jamie Dimon 6 months ago said what? There's a hurricane coming. Last week, he said I think he used the W word. He said, this is war. Nobody gives a shit about ESG, stuff like that. What did the JP Morgan president say? That ain't Jamie Dimon. It's Daniel Pinto. The president says a recession may be the price to beat inflation, and the market bottom is not in yet. Now, again, folks, I wrote a book, shameless plug. It's over there in a box on the floor because I sign a bunch of them and mail them out. We are the smart money. But you don't get to be the president of JP Morgan and being an idiot. So when this guy says, hey, man, we haven't even seen a market bottom yet. First of all, I listen to everybody. Even if I think they're an idiot, I listen to them because I'm better about that stuff now. Before, I'd be like, that dude's an idiot, and I wouldn't listen to him. But market bottom not in yet. We talked months ago, and I was early. I had a bad XHB trade, and now there actually are some home builders in the XHB because the last time I traded XHB, it was just all the surrounding stuff, not home builders, but there are some in there. But ladies and gentlemen, guess what's going on? The mortgage refi business has collapsed 85% from a year ago, the lowest level since I was an instructor pilot at Miramar Marine Corps Air Station. The housing market is already mostly frozen. 2 more rate hikes will put it in a coma by December. Look at the chart. I'm a political science major, so I need charts and graphs. What? I live in South Florida. I have a lot of, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a realtor in South Florida. A lot of divorced ladies wearing their Lululemons, sitting at Starbucks at Meisner Park with the real estate license. My Facebook feed for the past couple of years is filled with that, and also filled with what? Everybody else who isn't a realtor is what? A mortgage broker. Told you a personal friend months ago, 6 months, Kat Ladondo, she said we didn't even go into work. Half of my mortgage company was let go in a day. This is a massive canary in the coal mine. Did you see what happened an hour ago or whenever it was? What was the case Schiller? The S&P Case-Shiller index. Ooh, oh man. The conference board number was a big miss. The conference board consumer confidence number, folks. I cannot believe at 10 a.m. nothing happened. Either join this thing or get out of the way. Do not get bearish right now. Why? The conference board's consumer confidence, there's a lot of C's in there. It's a survey of about this isn't like a random sample of 342 people. This is 3,000 households. This is the Joey Tribbiani. This is the how you doing survey. How you doing? What's your current and future economic conditions? Labor availability, your business conditions, how you doing? Not good. But let's get back to the Case-Shiller, folks. It was 16 last month, revised down a little bit. They were saying, all right, it should slow a little bit, and it slowed even more. So, holy shit. Again, political science major from New Jersey. Whoa. You know what this looks like? Exactly what it looks like. I get like those Credit Karma alerts, like your home equity, you're printing money. It looks exactly like this. Of course, I love looking at it where it was about 6 months ago, and now I don't open those emails anymore because it looks exactly like this. This, ladies and gentlemen, also impacts what? The wealth effect. I don't care. I'm going to be buried. I'm not going to be buried, actually. Do you guys know how I'm going to go? Every once in a while, I have to say this publicly on a recorded line so my wife doesn't countermand my demands. You ready for this? How whiz goes? First of all, as soon as that last breath, but this shell, I'm going to be cremated and put into gunpowder and fireworks. So we're going to go to the beach at a beautiful night, have some music, some great songs, and explode into fireworks. So everybody remember I said this publicly on October 25th. There are firms that do that. I have it all planned out. Fireworks, baby. Yeah, remember what's his name? Scotty from Star Trek. They put him, they put some of his ashes in a little Atlas whatever rocket and blasted them off. I'm already there. I've been there. I just want to go. I want this shell to go in fireworks. So, tomorrow, excuse me. Tomorrow we get new home sales. Let's go take a look at that chart. Oh, geez. Anybody see a trend here? Wow. So again, folks, on a day like today, when you're looking at all the macroeconomic just awfulness, and we have this. These are days, if you didn't join it, you get out of the way and you get ready to reload. We've done it. This one we joined, right? This one was easy. Jerome Powell. I don't want a taper tantrum. Boom. I said it live in the chat, in the Lifetime and the thing. I said, done, bullish. What? Bullish. I think that, I don't care what you think, I'm bullish. 196 new folks, or not new, but like 26, what was there, 150, whatever it was. And then we got a lot of folks in the hunters too. So, new home sales tomorrow. Also on Thursday, folks, we get this right in front of the election. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the GDP talk. GDP comes out in how many formats? 3, because you're the government and you get to do whatever you want. There's advanced, there's preliminary, and there's final GDP. Advanced, it says, is the earliest and thus tends to have the most impact. You think? It's red. It's got a nice little fire there. So, ladies and gentlemen, how do we think that this is why I'm sitting here looking at this, this. If we get a bad GDP print, do they, again, does Joe, do they again gaslight us and go, we're not in a recession? Because, GDP growth has nothing to do with recessions because the jobs market is strong. Are you listening to the earnings calls where people are just getting laid off. So there's our GDP. Housing imploding, GDP slowing, blah, 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 blah. You guys, it's a broken record out of me, but I'm saying all this stuff, folks. Exactly, Mike. And Eric, I won't believe it. I don't believe the last inflation number. It was a lie because it came in hot. I guarantee you it was a hell of a lot hotter. BLS manipulated the numbers in front of Obama's reelection. They did an investigation and they admitted it a year and a half later. That's a pretty long investigation, man, because people, yeah, whatever. Friday, we get some inflation. We get personal spending, personal income, Michigan. Big week of macroeconomic data. So not only do we have a big week of macro data, we have a big week of earnings. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is that's bad. This is all bad. Home prices plunged the most since 2009. Pulte CEO fears financial and psychological hurdles are ahead for home buyers. Psychological, folks. Did you hear Wiz just say that? I did just say that. The wealth effect. That's why I was talking about fireworks. Because Susie's like, why are you looking at the home equity shit? It doesn't matter. I'm like, I know, because old me, I'm like, I'm getting buried in the backyard. This is our forever home. I'm not going anywhere. East Boca Raton. I'm going to be the old Boca guy pushing a poodle around in a stroller in the mall. If here's more public permission from the fireworks. If I do that, you're allowed to kill me. But the wealth effect. When people look at their 401k and it's a 101k, when people look at their home equity from Credit Karma and it went from in April being disgusting to now like, oh my God, I'm upside down type of shit, that impacts everything. Spending, Christmas, Kwanzaa, winter solstice, Chinooka. Ladies and gentlemen, this is bad. Jamie Dimon, who agrees with Wiz, is right. We're in the hurricane. Right now, here's where maybe I'll make a hurricane chart. You know where we are, ladies and gentlemen? Is so up, down. But, well, you know what? Let me Hanukkah. When I was a kid, I couldn't pronounce it. So bounce, bounce. You know where we are in the hurricane? We, ladies and gentlemen, are in the eye. And hopefully you get exactly what I mean by this. Why? Because it's kind of calm right now. Everything I just briefed you on is swirling on the walls of this hurricane. But right now, Dow's higher and yay, everything's great. What? We will exit the eye of this hurricane, ladies and gentlemen. And on the backside, just ask the folks on the west coast of Florida, the other side of that eye wall is bad. The only thing that will prevent us from this or even this is what? The P word, the Fed pivot. And everybody and their mother is looking forward to try and predict when the Fed pivots. You see it from Steve Leisman on CNBC. Everybody asks whenever the Fed minutes come out or the dot plot, how far into the future does this shit show stop? Instead of living for today. But again, the market is not the economy, folks. We can, with all the bad that I just briefed you on, from war to housing, everything bad, the market one day, and it might be soon, listen to me, it might be soon, the market's going to read what? Holy shit, it looks like they might pivot in 20 years from now. Bullish. I guarantee you that happens. And retail traders who aren't at Top Gun Options, who are failing, are going to go, hold on, everything's horrible and the market just is ripping higher? Yep. That makes sense. The market is forward looking. So when, not if, we get the first, that's why I'm telling you, we're in a little bit of this right now. Whatever that, I read that article this morning, the Wall Street Journal. I'm like, oh my God. Well, that explains some of this lift. Any little sign of a pivot from the Fed is a massive bullish buy signal. Yeah, Steve, the P word should be peace. Wouldn't that be nice? Give peace a chance. And it's so funny, man, because I tell people, can't you stop for like 5 days? Do you all remember at the beginning of this thing? Do you remember us looking at pictures of Ukrainian heavies and Russian heavies sitting in a room? They were talking, folks. There were talks a month into this thing. And if you ask Lavrov and the Russians, they're like, they stopped showing up one day and they stopped talking. Why? Because Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, the CEO of Raytheon, who was just talking to Jim Cramer, you can win this. We can do this. There's a lot of people that are, you can do this. You're Winston Churchill. Nobel Peace Prize. Vogue magazine shoots. Cover. Not shoots. Cover. There you go, Andrew. Andrew gets another gold star. Has anybody listened to Andrew yet? Can't see it on my books. I have a ton of, all of my investing books over here have been replaced with The Immortality Key, A Course in Miracles, How to Change Your Mind, The Power of Now. Andrew is right, and he sounds like Bart. Nothing new under the sun. Okay, let's get tactical. Anything else I got to cover? Oh, well, here was another crack I didn't brief this yesterday. Blackstone. Blackstone earnings sink as what? The private equity portfolio takes a hit. What type of firm is Blackstone? An investment firm, folks. Blackstone, their net income plummeted in the third quarter as their private equity portfolio declined. What does that mean, folks? That means Axe Capital ain't making a bunch of deals and let's buy this company, let's buy the ice cream company and poison it and everybody pukes and it will short it. The Axe Capital shit is slowing down or non-existent. We laughed last week and we'll laugh again today. Where's Chamath? You couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting Chamath on CNBC for the past year and a half, 2 years. I'm making a crypto coin out of thin air. I have a SPAC. Write me a check. Why? Well, it's called a blank check SPAC. So you just give me a check. What? What are we going to do? I don't know. Trust me. So this is another canary in the coal mine. From the housing, real estate, private equity, you name it, guys. It is ugly out there. We already talked about this yesterday. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to remind you because get ready for it. Get ready for the exact opposite of what you think might happen. Have the tech companies year to date done a really good job of lowering the net? Have they? Because they're getting hammered. Everything's getting hammered year to date, but tech hammered-er, more hammered. Have the tech companies done a good job of lowering the net? I don't know. We're going to find out. We have a big, wide iron condor on Amazon. If you're interested in that sort of thing, Amazon, of course, the whole market had a melt up yesterday. Between now and Friday is a world of time. Now Amazon has got it back down to where it was yesterday. So again, people are like, holy shit. I got a text. I'm like, it's Monday, dude. Amazon could be at 0 by Friday. I have no clue, right? So you gotta, if you're the type of trader, folks, that you place a trade and immediately after it gets filled, it's red and you're freaking out, stop doing this. Or buy the S&P 5, buy calls on the S&P 500 out to 2.5 years and forget about them. You need to be a passive investor. I actually have gotten to the mental space that when I place a trade and it's green immediately, I wonder what's wrong. I expect it to be. So anyway, so last week, where is it? The VXX trade. We did a VXX trade. That's exactly right, Ray. Here's the exception to this rule, right? Sell the rips, don't buy the dips. Sell the rips when, Wiz? When they run out of airspeed. Like right now, I would not get in the way of this thing because why? That green line right there is the 50-day, and this is the 100-day. There are people that trade the 7-day, the 14-day, the 21. You can do whatever you want. But when we're down here, I'm looking at these. These tend to be, we haven't had to talk about these in a while since like back here. These are magnets. Dudes and ladies program boxes that have certain signals. Boxes, until they become self-aware and kill all of us, really don't think for themselves. They are learning. The F-35 learns. Well, at this point in the flight, the lady or the dude did this or looked here. I'm going to make a note of that, and I'm going to tell all the other F-35s around the world. Cyberdyne Systems, the big, we all watched Westworld, didn't we? That big freaking computer that knows everything. Kind of creepy. But anyway, here's what I'm getting at is we will probably make a run up to one of these. We did it here, and then we saw a massive. Remember this one, guys? This was like a 1,000-point slide in the S&P 500 after that. You can always, in this point, roll inverted. Okay? So, rally, pullback, rally, pullback, rally, pullback. Okay, whoa. We're upside down, remember that. But can this happen? Of course it can. Anything can happen under God and in the universe, physically. If you believe, like I do, in infinity and an infinite universe, it's funny that people are like, oh, the universe is finite. Well, what's on the other side of that? What if we were at the end of the universe? Do we look to our right and it's like a fence? And there's like, it's white? I actually believe in an infinite universe. If you believe in an infinite universe, there's an infinite number of yous. There's an infinite number of me's pointing at the screen. Kind of creepy. It blows my mind sometimes when sitting here today, it's hard to wrap my head around it. Yeah, Arrow, the snow globes thing. Aaron, did you? I got to share this with you now. When I had these revelations, YouTube, because the snow globes are an interesting one. You have got, Aaron, you're gonna love this one. It's this one. How big is the universe? I listen to this, watch this video probably a couple times a month because let me give you this, but you ready? Because he actually talks through, like that could be our universe, right? But he play, go a little further, but yeah, exactly, Aaron. So it would be infinite. So let me give you this. Because I told Slide, this is the most. All right, enough. Here's homework, guys. This video is a must watch. It's the best video I've ever seen. It's 30 minutes, 24 minutes, whatever it is, folks. There's the link. because he goes through what I just asked. Like he actually takes, watch this, where is he? Starts drawing on a piece of paper because he actually does that. He's like, hey man. And he's cool because he talks about the light and he actually, pulls out a piece of paper like, oh yeah, like this. He's like, if we look this way and then what about the people at the end looking towards us? It's awesome. Thank you for God for this God moment. I have no idea how we got here, but this is the best video on this subject, and it's 30 minutes and 17 seconds. It will fucking blow you away. I bring this up because at the end, he talks about this, how there's an infinite, if you believe in that, there's an infinite number of views. So, exactly, Gary. All right, let's get back to trading. I am actually going to watch this later today because it's time for my monthly watch this again. Yeah, is the universe infinite or does it somehow fold in on itself? And if so, in what shape? Everybody, the 161 people in this room, unless you're really weird, you have sat somewhere at night and looked up and wondered. And this will give you some things. There's never... I love in the past 2 years, folks, people frothing at the mouth and screaming at a person like me going, the science is settled. Science is never settled. It is always questioned. Science that is settled is religion and doctrine and dogma. That ain't the science I know. Back to trading. So, please, I'm begging you to watch that video. And I want to hear you all cheating. The quantum mechanics thing makes me freak the hell out. The quantum mechanics thing of if I do this with my hand on the opposite side of the universe, it's happening at the same time, man. Blows my mind. Look at us. Not only do we get trading and everything like that, we get to talk about infinity. I promise you, folks, that will be some of the best 30 minutes as opposed to this live trade brief you have spent in your entire life. Trading. Amazon, Iron Condor, big one. Let's go take a look at the at-the-money straddle and see how it changed, because here's another interesting question. Talking to a guy yesterday in our lifetime group who's like, dude, the at-the-money straddle thing I don't get. Speaking of the universe, the at-the-money straddle is what? Always changing. The price of Amazon, as I said, the word's always changing, changed. So the at-the-money straddle would be changing. Yesterday, it was what? What was our at-the-money? 117? I forget. 117. Got a storage low light. So today, let's just round up and say we're at 190. Let's double the price. Oh, look at this. Let's double the price, 450 and I don't know, 450-ish, $8 or $9, like I said yesterday. And I just sat here saying the at-the-money straddle is always changing, and maybe it's not because it's coming back in. But you guys know what I mean. 865. Yesterday, it was like 905 when I clicked on it. So, but guess what happened? The at-the-money straddle has changed to which strikes to today is the Elizabeth Warren teepee. 128 and 111. So the at-the-money straddle has gone up a little bit. It's still the same width. I love my Apple Watch. Stand up. It's the same width, but the strikes have changed. So the options market, even though Amazon went up a little bit yesterday, the at-the-money straddle went up with it a little bit. Now they're higher strikes. Me, I'm not touching anything. I like the Amazon Iron Condor where it was. We had this. Because, and again, folks, Amazon kind of rising up with the overall market with yesterday's rally doesn't mean anything. Because by how many times have we seen Amazon do what? Run up into earnings. This is going to be awesome. Amazon's running up in earnings. Slam. Oh, my God, I got my teeth cooked in. Yeah. How many times have we seen a stock run up into earnings and then with earnings explode? Has it happened? Of course it happens. It can happen with Amazon. Run up into earnings, great news, explode even more. My trading Amazon for decades or whatever, usually if I see a run up on a stock into earnings, somebody knew something, and then, or just people are pushing it up and then bail. It's a Wall Streetism because it's a Wall Streetism. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So I'm holding the Amazon, whatever. Microsoft, right? When in doubt, run the Ma wins Microsoft. Today, somebody's 1025. AMC. AMC after market close. Let's see how wide Microsoft at. Whoa, that's a, well, it looks like the S&P 500 right now. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Microsoft has rallied from 233. Now, this can't, is this right? 1021. This stock's rallied from 235 to 250. I hate using this word, and I'm going to use it, though, the G word, gamble. I haven't looked at Microsoft lately, or what their EPS is, but folks, in Uncle Wiz's experience, when you see what is that, a 10, 7%, whatever, rally in the stock going into earnings, what's the straddle, man? Holy shit. It was 219.13, a 30-point run in the stock going into Microsoft earnings. Ladies and gentlemen, they have got to hit the effing cover off the ball, in my opinion. Can they? Of course they can. Will they? Holy crap, man. So the options market is saying today, Wiz, after market close, this thing can go as high as 262, another 12 points higher, or it's going to get kicked in the teeth and implode. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen is 98% of the reason I don't trade earnings. Also on your screen is the 2% of the time where I do trade earnings and go, holy crap. Again, this is all live. I haven't run to Ma in 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Why? Because Ma's been getting destroyed. Not my Ma. My Ma's awesome. Love my Ma. Had a long talk with her yesterday. Yeah. She says every October 24th, she opens my dad's, like, I guess his little valet he had on his desk, and she still has his Aramis cologne. And she's like, when that box opens, just sad. She's like, I have his hairbrush, and it's just tough day for my mom too, obviously. But Tamara, absolutely. Look at you. Tamara knows it. When something's on a tear, either join in or get out of the way. I got to tell you, Eric, I'm going to be honest with you. When my mom told me that, I'm actually going to go drive by the mall today. I actually want to go because whenever I'd see my dad, that was his clone. I used to get into his car, and yeah. I'm rambling, guys, but this is I'm itchy and I need some penicillin. I'll talk to the doc about that. But if you have some drinking money, which in this environment most people don't even have a month of reserve because inflation has eaten a month out of the year of your earnings. But we won't talk about that. Maybe buy some puts. Could be completely wrong. If you bought puts on Microsoft, because dude, that's a monster run into earnings, and they got to destroy it, and they can. Remember, if you bought puts out to Friday on Microsoft, buy some at the money puts on Microsoft out to Friday. Who's on the other side of that trade? Somebody who's selling you the puts that's like, are you insane? Microsoft's going to 300 by Friday. So again, this is a market, right? But let's move on here. Come on now, man. Apple. Whew. Can't stand this company. Man. Oh, Kathy, I'm going to talk about that to some folks this week, and then I'm Friday of this week. I need to. We'll see. How about that? I'm still. I got a lot of stuff going on beyond below the surface right now. I try and look like a duck, right? A duck is very calm and stately. There's a lot of shit going on under the water. Paul, if you are long-term bullish on Microsoft, so you don't care if it goes back down to 230, you just know that it's going to be back up here again someday, you could absolutely hop in your time machine, Paul, and go all the way out to Jan of 2025 and get bullish on Microsoft. Because if you're that bullish, that long term out in the future, you don't care what today's earnings are. Between now and 2 years from now, you got eight more earnings reports. So this one's a drop in the bucket. That's half of me. Half of me says, do it right now. Do it before the earnings. What if the earnings are great and it just keeps going up? That's half of me. The other half of me says, dude, grab your popcorn, watch after hours, and see what happens. And I can be wrong, I feel that this might be a sell the news, man. It might be. We talked about this yesterday, and I hit it a little again today, is did the tech companies lower the expectations so much that this is what we're getting? Everything's really shitty, but we've admitted it's shitty, and it's going to get better. Buy it. So I hope that helped you, but it's a coin flip. Either if you're that long-term bullish, you don't care about today's earnings. You just know 2 years from now, Microsoft's the machine. All right, good. Yep. You're the pilot in command, bro. I personally believe Microsoft 2 years from now is fill in the blank, a $500 stock. So, Oh, good. So, all right. So, Karen, was thinking at the money puts on Microsoft since it looks like it ran too far, but money has to go somewhere. Not a bad point. So, Tamara has some great intel. Tamara looked at the left side of the chart and said, actually, folks, for the past 3 earnings, they beat and it was up. Were there runs into that, Tamara? Did they run up and keep going, or was it? Okay, well, there you go. Then I'm sitting on my hands. So let's just sit. Kathy, beginning of November, I actually, what was that Tuesday? I think I wanted to do it right around the election. That's what, in case, was it the first Tuesday, next Tuesday night? No, after the election. I think it was the 8th. Yeah, because there's going to be some good stuff going on. So tentatively planned for right around the election to start our election stuff, because that'll be good stuff to talk about and good practical applications in our training. Okay, I went way too long, but I have just a little bit more to do. Facebook, Meta, sorry. Oh, I can't believe I said the word. It's a fine. 3% run up, and earnings are tomorrow, man. Wow. Exactly. I'm doing yoga after this brief, and then I'm going to the mall because I want to buy some Aramis. I'm in a little gray area here, man. That's not that big of a run up though. Out of Meta. Nah, man. So my hemming and hawing is on this, guys. So first of all, you don't hem and haw. You do not hem and haw and trade. There ain't no if you're ever in combat, you don't drop a bomb and go, I hope that goes where it's supposed to. Ain't no him and hawing in trading either. You either have a high probability of success, or as the pilot in command, I did drop that bomb and holy shit, it might not go where it is. So I'm back. I might do a sniper shot on SPX because it finally. But I've actually been doing some bull put snipers, which I usually take the counter trend, right? But you don't snipe opposite SPX right now. Look at today, or the past 3 days. It's open, give back, run. Open, give back, run. Open, level. The past 3 days are not indicative of future results. However, it is a trend. Give back, run, give back, run. No give back. Now it can do anything, obviously, but if anything, I'm looking at a bullish sniper for today. But now I'm not going to force any tech. We already have an Amazon flying. Mike, you got it. That's what we'll wrap up on Mike. Become an emotionless trader, pull the trigger, and don't second guess yourself. Learn to move on. That's exactly right, Mike. You have got to trade the appropriate position size for your portfolio, folks. You are the pilot in command of your portfolio, not me, not Mike. If you squeeze the trigger on a trade and go, man, that better not lose money, you're trading too large. If you pull the trigger on a trade and go, I'm okay, you're right there. To Mike's point, you should be able to walk on the rice paper and not leave a trace. You should be able to grab the pebble from my hand, right? So, not going to force any. This is definitely, especially, let's close out on this. Let's go back and look at all of this. On top of massive tech earnings, having GDP, inflation, there's new home sales. Friday's a really big day too, man. Personal income spending, home sales, sentiment. Nope. Cash is a position, and no trade is definitely a trade. So I'm going to stick with my weekly snipers. I'll throw some in the max after we're in the hunters if I do them. But for the primary brief today, let's hold what we got. I had some. No, it's just like, talking to folks about, my journey and my healing actually helps me heal, or listening to them. So actually giving these briefs helps me think through some of my shit too. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything. So, all right, cool. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, let me know. You can throw it in the Ready Room. If you're not in the Lifetime group or the Hunters, you have your own little kind of thread. You can be in the Ready Room. There's kind of your group. If you're just in kind of the monthly or Tomcat charts or solo Amazon, get into the Ready Room, and I get an email whenever anybody posts in there, and I get in there, or Goose can get in there, or Bart. Okay. If I do change my mind and see a trade, I promise I will actually text and email it though. But right now, this is a good, after amateur hour ended in the S&P 500 for today, we're in a hover, which you guys know. So, and again, this is exactly, I said this last week, I said it the other day. This, I feel like I'm in Chicago. You trade the open, and then you're done for the rest of the day until the close. And some guys don't even trade the close because it can be, a little different. Because at least with the open, you have what? You got the futures market to give you a little bit of a cheat sheet of what the open might, not guaranteed, but might look like. And then after you fire a couple snipers in the open, you're done. But some guys do come back, and gals, to trade the close. Mike, that is exactly what we should do. I guarantee you this is going to change the way you look at things. This is awesome. I might even do that. I might sit here as the replays rendering, and this guy is awesome because it's great. He's like, all right, if you're here and Alice is here and Carlos is there and their universe, this is awesome. watch this, and I'm not going to steal any more thunder from it. The guy that quite was a martial arts studio mom buys gas instead of taking the kids, so no. That's awesome. Dave, did you send an email to support about this? Dave, you're on my list of people to reply to. I'm sorry. Shoot me an email, Dave, and I'll hook you up with our director, because we're working on getting the foundation. We got a 92-page or however big it is IRS form that we're working our way through. But we can take donations because we have a bank account stood up. We'll just have to wait to get you a receipt from the foundation. There's a system called Donor Perfect. We had it all for the Top Gun Fighter Foundation. I was running. You guys know, a lot of you donated to that, and then shut that foundation down. No regrets, to shift to a more inclusive No Fallen Heroes Foundation. But I forgot about the absolute ass pain and time required to stand up a foundation. But Dave, long answer to your short question, I'd be honored, bro. Shoot me an email. I'll hook you up with the foundation's bank info, but you will get a tax receipt by the end of the year. Not that you're doing it for the tax receipt. I get it. I think I saw your email. You're doing it to save a life, which is great. The link to this, Christine, is right here. Yeah, just if you all are interested in donating to No Fallen Heroes Foundation, a 501c3, we got our initial approval by the IRS, but you have to fill out the massive shit for them to finally go, okay, you are officially certified. Now we're conditional. So shoot me an email, wiz@nofallenheroes.com, and I'll get back to you. All right, guys, I got to go. I'll get the replay posted here shortly. Good day, you guys. I'm very thankful for you. I'm thankful for my life, my wife, my kids, you all, life, everything. Watch the universe video and realize how blessed we are. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless you all, and fights on. Namaste.